Right then, hello everyone and welcome back to the Assetto Corsa Offline Championship here at the Circuit des Spa-Francorchamps for the Belgian Grand Prix here in the eastern region of Belgium. My name is Miran FG in the commentary booth with you today. And yes, Formula 1 here at the ACOC for a second time in Belgium. And it is exciting to be back at this legendary piece of racing track. But before we get underway with the 20 minutes of qualifying, let's go through this circuit. So, the Circuit des Spa-Francorchamps, well, what can be said about this circuit? First opened in 1920, making it one of the oldest tracks on the Formula 1 calendar. First F1 race was in 1925. Which was only 15-kilometer layout, and it linked the three Belgian towns of Francorchamps, Malmedy, and Stavelot. Essentially, it was ran on public roads, making it a street circuit. Obviously, it has seen many revisions over the years, and now we are here today with this circuit. So let's go through the track details then. 7.004 kilometers of track length, so just barely edging over the limit of FIA track length. 20 turns, 2 DRS zones, 1 through the start-finish straight and 1 on the Camel straight. And well, honestly, what can be said about this circuit? As I said, it's so legendary. It has so much prestige to it, and it has so many legendary corners. I mean, we see here Erosion Radion, the upwards ascent, the chicane. It's so incredible driving through there. The Lecum, Bruxelles, Pouon, Stavelot, Blanchimont, La Source, the bus stop chicane, just a few corners. The circuit has so many legendary corners and has so much history to it. It's an absolutely incredible track. And I think it's going to be a blast for the drivers to enjoy as well. And speaking of drivers, we have a rookie today in F1. We have Ide Weitz, who makes his Formula 1 debut. He's standing in for Mohamed Patel today. Mohamed Patel obviously receiving the race ban at the previous round in Hungary, meaning that reserve driver Ide Weitz getting the call up to Formula 1. Always exciting to see how a rookie will perform. Obviously, he's in a pretty fast car, so expectations will be high for the Swede. So yeah, it is going to be pretty exciting to see how Weitz will perform, and we wish him the best of luck in his first ever qualifying session here in F1. Obviously, this is a one-off, so Patel will return for the Italian Grand Prix, but we'll see what happens now. As everyone just starting their laps, then Miran FG's on a flying lap, but he's got the Toro Rosso, I believe that is Rail Patel ahead of him. But let's see the first time then by Miran FG, 1:49.5. I think we are going to see about a second or two's improvement from that lap time, because it was quite slow. Lambas Asnishka, next person to set a lap. As Dennis Graf, as I did say, we were going about a second faster, and Dennis Graf does go a second faster, a 1:48.6. So I think we are going to see times in the 1:48s. We could see some people even getting into the 1:47s, but I think we are going to stay in the 1:48s for the qualifying times. We also ask you for our predictions in the qualifying and race, and we have received one comment calling a turn 1 pileup. Now, in the real life 2018 Belgian Grand Prix, it did happen, or not a pileup, but a pretty big crash did happen in La Source involving the McLaren and the Sauber, though I don't think that is going to happen. Well, I don't know. Who knows? Maybe it will. As we're having the few first times come in, Arnold has taken pole with Jesper Johansson in seconds, of 2 Mercs on the front row at the moment, with Dennis Graf third and Victor Albom a surprising 4th for him and the Haas, though everyone has not set their lap times yet. Klaus has yet to set a lap time. And I also think, as there's Miran Evji going round the outside of Toro Rosso into Blanchimont, very nice camera angle, actually captures, definitely captures the speed of these F1 cars through that corner. It was one thing I wanted to say, with Weitz, now in the Red Bull, I think this is the first ever time in ACOC F1 history we're gonna see a team consisting of the same nationality. So Alfred Klaus and Ida Weitz both representing Sweden in Red Bull. I think that is actually the first time in ACOC history. So I think that is going to be a one-off then. As Miran Evji currently in P12, he's still trying to pass the Toro Rosso of Rahul Patel, it is. As here he goes onto the Camel Straight. Will be able to make it this time, as he's actually 2 thousandths off the pole time. So Evji is pretty quick, heading through Lake Hume now, as Patel still persists into Brussels. Will Evji have the space to make the move? Let's see, heading through No Name now. Pretty nice through there, and he is ahead. So, and I did incorrectly say Radio Patel. That was Baban Jolga. I keep mixing up the numbers, so apologies on my end. But either way, that is Miran Evji ahead. Ida Weitz, P8 at the moment. 1.1 off. Naturally, we don't expect great things from him, considering it is his first ever qualifying in Formula 1. And it doesn't really matter all too much. I think a top 10 finish for Weitz will be sufficient for him, considering that this is only a stand-in drive. Miran Evji, though, looking pacey as he heads through Blanchimont. Let's see, heading into the bus stop chicane, as here's Ruslan Protsiak, currently P7. So the Hasses are doing very well, P5 and P7. They look pretty fast around here. Let's see Miran Evji, though, he heads up into P7. So it takes that spot from Protsiak. 1.1 seconds off Arnold in pole. Alfred Klaus there as well was unable to improve. He currently is 6th at the moment, as Dennis Groff is 3rd. 4 tenths off from the 2 Mercedes, so the Mercs are looking very, very good around here. We could definitely see a Mercedes win, Alexander Arnold or Jesper Johansson. So it could be a second win for Alex Arnold here at Spa. As FG there, he heads through Sector 1. You can see him, he was a 10th off there in Sector 1. There's Jesper Johansson. There is his... there's Alexander Arnold, his teammate, actually. Now the question is, has Johansson blocked his teammate coming out of the pit lanes? I think that was a bit of an unfortunate strategy call from Mercedes. Let's see Arnold, he heads down the straight. He's got the slipstream and the DRS. He's gonna line up alongside his teammate as Ida Weitz posts in yet another lap time, up into 8th place. He goes. Johansson, though, heading through Lake Hume, has actually held ahead of his teammate. No, they're going side by side. Arnold having to back out there to avoid understeering into his Swedish teammates. And you did also mention there, Kulasek is pretty quick. And that is true. I did not even notice that. Wojtek Kulasek is P4. That is an absolutely smashing lap time from the Czech driver. And that is him on the 2nd row with Dennis Groff. Let's see if Miran Evji can improve. He does, up into P6, as Balanjolka is up into P13. But Miran Evji has got Tomas Madic there ahead of him. Let's see Wojtek Kulasek, the man in the moment, currently in 4th place for Renault. He's got the McLaren there ahead of him. I think that is Enis Parachki. Though I'm not sure, as they're going to go side by side through Blanchimont here. Kulasek on the inside. Let's see if he's going to get past the McLaren OS. He actually goes a bit wide there. But Kulasek is through. He's going to start his lap now. Arnold's into the pits. So Johansson has not improved. But Lavan Sosnishkai there at the back did improve. He's up into P16. As the two Force Indias are really struggling at this track, I've noticed. Franco Gamba and Kai Cherezhny are P17 and P18. Normally you'd see them in the top 10. but they aren't even there. Same with Thomas Mandic. Mandic is P19, so he's not doing very well either. So we're seeing some pretty unusual performers here today. Kulasek, Albom, Protsik, maybe not Protsik, but Timel as well. And Singh in P12 is a pretty notable performance as well. Here's Jesper Johansson. I think he's stuck behind Kai Cherezhnia, so traffic playing a big role here in qualifying. As Lewis McIntyre posts in a 1:49.5. There's Miran Evji stuck behind Thomas Mandic, and that is the second time a lap car has impacted him. He's into the pits. Same with Mandic. Klaus into the pits as well, so I think most of the front runners have gone in after their first few runs. Jesper Johansson not able to set an improvement either, as we're going to see him as he gets the slipstream on the Force India driver. On the inside into Blanchimont. Will they be able to make it? Yes, he does. Cherezhnia not really putting up a fight to Johansson. As Rail Patel actually posts in a pretty decent time. Only second off pole. That sees the Brit up into 8th place. So that is pretty good from him. As Victor boom, what a lap time from him. He's up into 3rd. As that is down to 4th, as Wojtek Kulasek goes up into 3rd place. So, very, very good lap times from the both of them. And that sees them up into P3 and P4. Dennis Groff is down to P5. They're actually beating out some pretty big names here. Kulasek and Albom. And that is a pretty bizarre second row of the qualifying grid at the moment, though we've got 7 minutes remaining, so there's still time for people like Graf, Evji and Klaus to improve. As Linus Timel improves, but he stays P11. Here is Kai Cherezhnia. The Polish driver was leading the F2 championship standings until the F2 round at Spa, where he lost the championship standings. Still incredible to think that he led the F2 championship standings for 3 races absent from the championship. But yeah, still P2 in the standings actually. So that is pretty strange. As here's Enis Parachki, he's trying to get ahead of Cherezhnia himself. Actually going Parachki actually going quite back and forth with Cherezhnia. Oh, there's a bit of contact actually. Oh no, that is Cherezhnia off. And Cherezhnia and Parachki making contact in a pretty big way. And Cherezhnia has actually been able to get back into the pit lane. But that is a pretty big crash, actually. Parachki going on the outside and Cherezhnia squeezing him. I think that actually might have been Kai's fault. But we're going to have to check the replays on that later on. So we can't really give an official verdict at the moment. But that was a pretty bizarre accident in qualifying. Either way, it doesn't seem to have impacted the both of them. I think Cherezhnia is into the pits. We don't know where Parachki is. If you could check that, but that is the second incident for Cherezhnia in a row, which is pretty strange. Dennis Parachki is still going, but I think he might have damage to that McLaren. So yeah, I don't know if he's gonna be able to improve any further. Same goes for Kai Cherezhnia. That is, if the Force India team are able to get it fixed in time. Dennis Groff then, world champion, pushing the limits, trying to get up into the top 3. Someone has to challenge those Mercedes. It's only good for Arnold and Johansson if the midfielders start 3rd and 4th, because that is a bigger gap to the more competitive cars. Groff and Evji starting P5 and P6, and Klaus and Weitz P7 and P9. So that's only going to be better for the Mercedes pair, because that is going to allow them to have a further advantage over the Ferraris and the Red Bulls. So let's see Franco Gamba, though. He's going to start his lap. There goes Enis Parachki, so he actually was able to improve. Dennis Groff was able to improve as well. He's up to 3rd. about a tenth off Alexander Arnold. So Graf could definitely challenge for pole here, but the Mercedes still are looking very good around this circuit. Obviously, is Dennis Graf actually having to hit the brakes there to avoid not going into the back of Franco Gamba, as he's got the arrest now heading down the Kemmel Straight. Let's see if Dennis Graf is able to improve. Alfred Klaus does improve. He's up into 4th place, so Graf could be in to challenge the Mercs at the moment, as Ruslan Protsik goes up into P10 or P8, sorry, knocks Ida Weitz out of the top 10, as Thomas Mandic goes up into P11 now, knocks Ida Weitz to 12th place. So Weitz is gonna have to set an improvement to impress the higher ups at Red Bull, as Josef Fredrik Suto goes P17. As here's Ida Weitz heading through Rouge and Radion. Now through the Kemmel Straight. Let's see his sector 1 time. He's 1.1 off the pole time, so let's see what it will be for young Weitz. As it is about he's about a tenth off, so we could see an improvement for Weitz. That is if it isn't an in-lap, though it looks like a pretty pacey lap, so I think Weitz could make it. FG does improve, but he stays P7, as Dennis Graf still behind Franco Gamba there. So we'll see if Dennis is able to improve, as he's going to cross the line, and there is no improvement for him. Gamba improves, he's up into P14. It's still very disappointing for the Italian. I think Force India are definitely struggling at the moment. Victor Album, though, man of the moment as well. P6, I think that is definitely the... it's going to be his career best qualifying if he qualifies P6. So I think that's still going to be pretty good for the Danish driver. He's got the Williams ahead of him. I think that is... Might that be Josef Fredrik Suto, actually? It's a bit hard to see. Yes, that is Josef Fredrik Suto. As here goes Albon round the outside on Blanchimont. Ooh, very ballsy move. As is he actually going to succeed with it? As Ida Weitz. A pretty good lap time from him. He's up into P5, so not too far off his teammate, as Albon has actually crashed with Suto, and both of them are off. So that is yet another incident in qualifying. Albon's back up to speed. Suto, though, where is he? He's crashed in a pretty awkward position. Suto, I think he must have made contact with Albon. Maybe Albon hit him on the rear, and he's just kind of stalled it there. Either way, that is Suto stuck in the pit entry, and I think that is going to cause some issues for everyone. As Kai Teresnia goes up into P16, I think the Force India drivers maybe a bit of an incorrect setup. I think they can't really extract more out of the car. Obviously, we've seen Gamba and Teresnia for much more up high than this. So I think something must be running amiss. 1 minute remaining now. Jesper Johansson's in the pit lane, so the Swede can't challenge for pole. Realistically, it is Arnold, Graf, Klaus, and FG who can challenge for pole. I don't think Ida Weitz is going to be able to stick it on to pole. Let's see here on FG, though. 45 seconds remain for him in this qualifying session. He's got to clear Kai Teresnia. They're up ahead. Ida Weitz, though, he's got the Renault of I think that is Vojta Kulasek. Has he blocked him in the last corner? No, he hasn't, actually. So let's see Ida Weitz's time, as he's gonna cross the line, and no improvement for him, but he's got yet another lap time to do it. Here's Victor Album, and I think that is Lewis McIntyre, or could that be Milka Singh? Obviously, Milka Singh, a race winner around the circuit. He won here in Formula 2, so he has some pretty good experience around this circuit. Ida Weitz also scored a podium the same race as Singh won, but the checker flag is now out. FG, oh no, he's been held up by Teresnia there. I think that has actually ruined his chances at getting a competitive lap time, and so it's been blocked by Kai Teresnia. FG probably must be furious behind the wheel. as yeah, he's coming into the pits, so lap time aborted for Main Energy. I think, honestly, yeah, better to end it there. And then Alfred Klaus, though, he's still in for a good shot of taking pole position from Alexander Arnold. He's actually got Arnold there up ahead, a bit up the road, as Arnold doesn't look to be able to improve. He's 7/10 off on sector 2. Klaus only 2/10, or only, not really only. It's still not enough for Alfred Klaus. He's not going to improve. And I think it won't be the pole for Alfred Klaus, as Alexander Arnold, both Arnold and Klaus heading through the bus stop chicane, Balin Jolga into P13. Klaus is into the pits, meaning that it is not the pole for Klaus. So realistically, the last person to take pole would be Dennis Graf. Let's see Vojta Kulisic, though, as he's next to cross the line there. He can't improve. Where is Dennis Graf? That is the question. Either Weitz could be in for an improvement as well. Where is Weitz? As he's going to cross the line there. No improvement for him, so he stays P5 in his first ever qualifying session. Still pretty good from him. Let's see Linus Timel as he crosses the line. No improvement for him either. Where's Dennis Graf? I think he's the last car to cross the line. No, it's Victor Albom. And he's into the pit lane. So that means that Alexander Arnold, it is the 4th pole position of his career. So let's go through the final classifications then of qualifying before we go lights out here at Belgium. So it's Alexander Arnold, a 4th pole position this season, with Jesper Johansson, teammate, lining up in 2nd. Second row is Dennis Graf and Alfred Klaus, starting P4, with Ida Weitz in his first ever qualifying P5. Vojta Kulisic is P6 with Victor Albom in P7. Then it's Miran FG in P8, Ruslan Project P9, and Milka Singh in the points P10. Enes Pratsky P11 with Real Patel P12, and Toro Rosso teammate Balin Jolga P13. Thomas Manders is P14 with Linus Timel P15, both the former Formula 2 championship rivals 14th and 15th, with the two Force Indias of Franco Gamba and Kai Treznia P16 and P17. Lewis McIntyre is P19, with the last 2 spots being the Williams of Josef Fredrik Suto and Laban Sasnishkai. So let's get on the way with the race then. Alexander Arnold on pole position, but it's Jesper Johansson in P2. Let's see if anyone can do anything at start, as we are underway here at Belgium. Everyone getting off away then. Alexander Arnold's leading into turn 1, but Johansson is going to challenge on the inside of his teammate. Can he line up on the side of him? I think Arnold's gone wide there. Are the two Mercedes side by side now heading up Rouge and Radion? Let's see if they are. As no, Arnold's actually been able to keep ahead, but there's Alfred Klaus going side by side with the Dennis Graf. Oh no, Graf's lost it, and he spun round, and it's absolute carnage at the back, as it is chaos there. Oh no, that is a massive pileup, and yes, red flags have been called out, and that is an absolutely massive crash at the back. Dennis Graf involved. And more as well. Yeah, we're gonna get the red flag there. Surely that was a restart, but that was a massive incident. But yeah, we'll get the restart in a bit. So we'll be getting on our way shortly, just in a bit. That was a pretty big crash, though. We'll see if Arnold will still be able to lead on the second restart. But yeah, that was a massive crash. And yes, message from race control: race to be restarted in qualifying order. So yeah, we'll just get the normal things done. As yes, we're back now. So getting underway for a second time then. Alexander Arnold, can he hold off Jesper Johansson this time as well? As we are underway again here at Spa-Francorchamps. Everyone getting off away well then. Arnold leads into turn 1, but there is Dennis Graf on the inside already of Jesper Johansson, and that sees Dennis Graf up at the P2. No, I think Johansson was able to hold him off as Groff trying to follow Johansson up Rouge. Ooh, bit of a slide there from Groff though. And it's Arnold now who leads from Johansson, Groff, Klaus, and Weiss. There's a crash at the back though. That's Victor Album. Album has crashed at the top of Radion in a pretty awkward position. That sees the Danish driver out. There's Alfred Klaus though going on Dennis Groff into Brussels on the inside. Can't quite do it as he's got rookie teammate Ida Weitz there. He's held his nose clean. He stayed P5, but it's Alexander Arnold. He's actually kept this cool this time and held the lead as Thomas Mann is going round the outside of Franco Gamba as Enis Krajci is overtaking his teammate Linus Timell, as Milka Singh has actually gone up one position as well, as Dennis Groff trying to look for a way past Jesper Johansson, as Arnold leads by 0.6 of a second already, so he's built up a pretty massive gap to the cars ahead. Dennis Groff though, as they are heading through Cours Paul Frere, he seems to be gaining on Johansson, but Alfred Klaus behind is also gaining on Dennis Groff, so we could see a three-way battle for P2 here. Kai Teresnia then trying to catch up to Balin Jolge, his teammate Franco Gamba, trying to catch up to Linus Timell as well. There he goes on Timell. Actually had a bit of a look there, but Timell shut the door. So pretty good defending from the Swede, as Lewis McIntyre and Balin Jolga going back and forth for P15 then. Jolga looks to be ahead as they head down the start-finish straight, start lap 2 out of 22. As Jolga is ahead, Zasnishkai as well, trying to go past Josef Fredrik Suto, his teammates. The two Williams is doing at the back. I think Franco Gamba is ahead of Linus Timell as well, as they go side by side up a Rouge. What incredible battling between the two, as that is really, really impressive between the two. Impressive car control from the both of them. There's Dennis Groff on the outside of Jesper Johansson into Lake Coombe. Let's see who's going to be able to get it though. Nice aerial view as we see the two cars going side by side, but Johansson has been able to hold it this time. As there was Franco Gamba, I think, on Linus Timell, as both of them went side by side. Balin Jolga as well, trying to get Tomas Mandic for P14. So he's got McIntyre. He's now chasing down the Croatian Tomas Mandic. Here's Dennis Groff. He got a try on Jesper Johansson heading into campus. Has he got the move done? As I wouldn't expect a move there, but he has. So Dennis Groff up into second place. And that is a pretty nice move from the world champion, really showing his mettle here at Belgium. Now chasing down Alexander Arnold. Let's see if Groff is able to close in. Milan Evti, meanwhile, currently in P7. He's chasing down Wojtek Kudasek for P6. Obviously, Dennis Groff, winner here last year, will be able to take the win again. Let's see as if he is closing in. He set the fastest lap, a 1:51.1 by Dennis Groff. As there's Evji, looked to be lining up on the inside there, trying to make a move on Wojtek Kudasek, but he wasn't quite able to do it on the Czech driver. Everyone heading through turn 1 Upper Rouge. Let's see Evji now with that Ferrari engine trying to go on the outside as they go side by side. Now down the Kemmel Straight and onto Lake Coombe. Evji's gonna try swinging around the outside of Wojtek Kudasek. Let's see if he's gonna be able to do it. Yes, he does. That takes Milan Evji up into P6, but he's got a 2.4 second deficit to Ida Weitz. And there's Laban Zasnishkai. Look at that, Laban Zasnishkai trying it on Kai Teresnia. And Zasnishkai, who's in a far worse car, wasn't able to do the move, but he still trotted anyway. And I think that is still a pretty impressive effort from Zasnishkai. But the Serbian stays in P7 or P18 as Dennis Groff on incredible pace at the moment. He's already caught up to Alexander Arnold. So we could see the two Germans duel here for the lead here at Belgium, as Groff is probably going to have a very, very good opportunity to take the lead into the bus stop. As let's see, Dennis Groff, he's closing in on Alexander Arnold. The rookie in his, or not the rookie, the man in the first season of Mercedes, gonna have to watch out for the world champion now. Groff not trying it just yet. He might have a good chance at trying it with La Source. Let's see as they head through the final corner start, lap 4 of 20, or lap 4 of 22. Dennis Groff then not close enough to make it into La Source. I think he's probably have a good chance up into what is it? Now I'm misremembering. Lake Coombe, yes. I think Doug Groff's gonna have a good chance up Lake Coombe as they head through Radion and Rouge. Let's see now, Dennis Groff, if he's able to close in on Alexander Arnold, is he able to make the move? And here comes Dennis Groff. He's gonna try on the inside of Alexander Arnold into Lake Coombe, trying to force Arnold wide. Can't quite do it though. So Arnold remaining ahead, remaining calm and collected. That is the type of performance we want to see from Alexander Arnold. Here goes Josef Suto though. On Lama Sasnishka, the two Williams going side by side through turns 7, 8 and 9. And Sasnishka has been able to hold ahead of his more experienced teammate, Josef Suto. Dennis Groff though still catching Alexander Arnold. Groff pushing for his life. Look how much speed he's got. He's got the absolute overspeed on Arnold, but he wasn't quite able to make the move there. Arnold going a bit defensive. You can tell just how much incredible pace Dennis Groff has. And Thomas Mandic as well. He's trying to get past Franco Gamba for P13. But he does not look to be able to. As Ruslan Protsiuk has got Milka Singh behind him. So Singh, who's gained 1 position from the start, might look to gain a second one as he's trying to close in on Protsiuk. Let's see Dennis Groff though as they head through the bus stop. This battle for the lead is only heating up as it's getting spicier and spicier. We could see Groff trying it once again into Lake Coombe this lap, as Groff really putting the pressure on Alexander Arnold. Let's see as they head through Rouge and Radion. Arnold actually looks a bit further ahead this time. As they head up Rouge and Radion. Let's see as they head down the Camel Straight. DRS active for Dennis Groff. As they go down the Camel Straight. Is Groff close enough to try the move this time? Let's see as he lines up alongside Alexander Arnold into Lake Coombe. This is for the lead. Yes, he's not able to hang on that time either. As Arnold keeps the lead then for yet another lap. Groff is really putting him under pressure. Arnold just has to keep his cool and try and come home and win the race. As Groff through Pouon, look how incredibly fast he is through Pouon. That is absolutely amazing stuff. As have a look there on the inside, but wasn't quite close enough. So, I think it was actually a bit of an oversteer there for Arnold. I think I saw the rear of his car step out a bit, but yeah, no time loss for Arnold then. As Thomas Mandic still trying to get Franco Gamba for P13. Mandic, obviously we usually don't see him this low, but yeah, I think he's still trying to prove his worth in the races. As the leading pair heads through bus stop now, you can just see Dennis Groff there. He's battling Jolga. He's closing in on Thomas Mandic as well. Dennis Groff, though, it looks closer this time. Arnold's got the better exit on Groff, though. Let's see if Dennis is close enough to make the move into Lake Coombe this time as they head through Rouge and Radion. What a great camera angle. You can really capture the speed of the cars there. Let's see Dennis Groff now as he's trying to get the slipstream of Arnold, closing in, lining up alongside the German now. He's going to try it on the inside of Alexander Arnold. Can he hold on this time? It looks like he can. He's closer this time, trying to pressure Arnold into a mistake, but Arnold does not yield. He stays in P1. And I must say, Alexander Arnold has really improved with his race pace over the this second half of the season. He really has shown that he can defend. As here comes Dennis Goff this time. He's trying the outside there. That wouldn't have worked either way. That is Groff staying in P2. But look at this. Alfred Klaus, Jesper Johansson, and Ide Weitz have all caught up to this little train that is forming by Alexander Arnold. And eventually, we could see Miran Evji catch up as well. Either way, I think Alfred Klaus is going to be safe in P4. He's got Ide Weitz as a rear gunner. So, and I don't think Weitz is going to try and pressure his teammate Klaus. As they head into La Source. We haven't seen these group of cars as close since Spain. So we could definitely see the lead getting flipped on its head here. You can see all sorts of overtakes here as we head up Rouge and Radion once again on board with Ide Weitz. Wow, look how close he's to his teammate. Alfred Klaus, could he make the move on his teammate? Actually, Ide Weitz is going to try it on the outside, heading into Lake Coombe. Dennis Groff as well. He's going to try on the inside of Alexander Arnold. And he hasn't quite been able to do it though. But Ide Weitz has overtaken Alfred Klaus for P4. What incredible stuff. The man in his first ever Formula 1 race has overtaken his more experienced race winner teammates. And that is lovely stuff from Ide Weitz. That sees him up into P4. And he's now got fellow countryman Jesper Johansson in P3. As Dennis Groff now much closer to Alexander Arnold. Absolutely putting the pressure on the German. This is going to be really exciting, ladies and gentlemen. Don't go anywhere because you surely don't want to miss this battle. We've got Alexander Arnold, first season for Mercedes, and we've got seasoned world champion Dennis Groff. And who is gonna come out victorious here? But Groff has Jesper Johansson behind him as well. So Johansson could be a bit of a pain in the neck for Dennis Groff as well. As Enis Parachki is close into Regal Patel for points. He looked out on the outside there, but Patel shuts the door on Parachki. Let's see though, as you can see the lap times there, everyone lapping significantly close to each other, so it is really a level playing field at the moment. Let's see Dennis Groff, that looks a bit further away this time, so I think Groff might not actually be able to catch Alexander Arnold this lap. Let's see if he's able to do it heading into Lake Coombe. I don't think he's going to be able to, or is he going to try and send it actually? No, he doesn't. Arnold's staying ahead this time as Miran Evji, look at this, he's caught up to the leading pack as Franco Gamba is going to try it on the inside of Linus Timel, but Timel holding ahead there, and that sees Timel staying in P12. So I think you might actually need the overlap into Lake Coombe to try the move there, but either way, I think some of them have a bit of difficulty trying to do it with a bit further back. As Dennis Groff looking really pacey through sector 3 here. But I think Groff's pace might start to fade actually a bit because he seems to push a bit. As there goes Thomas Mandic on Franco Gamba now, side by side, heading through Stavelo. And that is Thomas Mandic up onto P13. Bravo, Thomas. That sees the Croatian up into 13th place. As Alfred Klaus trying to catch back up to his teammate Ide Weitz. Enis Parachki as well, trying to get Rail Patel. Is he close enough to make the move? No, Patel shuts the door again. As Parachki might actually have a bit of a chance in the La Source, I was gonna say, but he had a pretty bad exit there, so I don't think he's gonna be able to get him. Dennis Groff, though, looking very close to Alexander Arnold. Let's see if he's able to do it this time. As they head onto the Camel Straight, DRS for Dennis Groff. He's closing, he's closing, he's closing, he's closing. Dennis Groff lining up alongside Alexander Arnold has got the overlap. Arnold breaks later though, and holds ahead. So that is Arnold remaining in the lead then, and he's doing absolutely brilliantly. Alexander Arnold just defending from Dennis Groff every lap. So I think what Groff has to do here is that he has to pressure Arnold into a mistake if he wants that race lead. But he's got Jesper Johansson behind him, and Johansson, if Groff slips up, that's going to allow Johansson to get past as well, as the two Williamses are still in fierce competition for P18. Laban Zasnishka ahead, but also Fredrik Suko chasing him down. As the pair of them head through Cours Paul Frere. Everyone trying to get an inch on each other, but I think Arnold has actually been able to increase that gap. I think it's up to a second almost. It's 9/10 now. But we all know how fast that Ferrari engine is on the straights. Here's Miran Evji on the back of Alfred Klaus. So could we see Evji overtaking Klaus and maybe even Weitz, as Thomas Manders is closing in on Linus Timmel? So we could see a move there also, as Josef Suto all over the rear wing of his teammate Laban Zasnishkai. I think he's probably going to have a good chance at trying it up into Lake Coombe. But let's see if Dennis Groff is close enough this time. I don't think he is actually. So Groff has pushed so much behind Arnold, meaning that I think he's used up his tires a bit, and that's allowed Arnold to go. That's allowed Arnold to be able to push a bit by himself, and I think that means that Groff might have it a bit tougher to. He might have it a bit tougher to overtake at least. So Groff is just gonna have to hope for the best and hope Arnold makes a mistake here. As the Ferrari looking very, very fast through the high-speed corners. Alfred Klaus is catching back up to his teammate Ide Weitz though. So we could see Klaus re-overtaking his rookie teammate into the bus stop. Let's see if he's actually able to do it, as Miran Evji actually might overtake Alfred Klaus here, now that I think about it, because Evji has that rocket of a Ferrari engine down the straight, but not into the bus stop. Not close enough to make the move, but there was Enis Parashki trying in on Rail Patel. Actually a bit of a slide there at a very high speed. Good thing he caught that, otherwise it would have been a pretty big crash for the Macedonian. There's Josef Suto trying to swing it on the outside of his teammate Laban Zasnishkai, and he has done it. And Zasnishkai, I think, actually went a bit off track there, and he has. But that sees Josef Suto overtaking Laban Zasnishkai for P18s. The two Williamses are locked in fierce competition. As we head up the hill then. Dennis Groff in P2 is he's not close enough to Alexander Arnold to try the move yet. So I think Groff might actually stay P2 in this race. So as they head through Puon then, Groff really fast. The Ferrari is really fast through the high-speed corners compared to the Mercedes. As you can see, he gained like an entire 10th in that corner by itself. So Groff doing pretty well, but I think his tires are starting to fall off. So yeah, Groff doing the best he can, but I think his tires are beginning to fall off the cliff a bit. Alfred Klaus is not able to catch up to Ida Weitz either. Weitz is going to be P4 for him. As Klaus has got FG behind him. FG's not been able to make the move on Alfred Klaus, but we could see a move from him in the coming laps. Same with Enis Paratsky on Rail Patel. Because Paratsky is so close to Rail Patel, and Patel's actually kind of backed them up into Linus Timel there behind, so Timel could be in the chance for points. And actually, look at this train. It is massive, stretching all the way down to, I think, Franco Gamba there behind. So it is a pretty big train, but no one able to get the move done on each other. Dennis Groff heading through Lake Coombe. Not close enough as he was 5 laps ago. Oh, he has actually a bit of a lock up there. And yeah, I think Groff is Groff's pace is definitely falling now. So I think it might be the win for Alexander Arnold, his 2nd win of his career. But there are still 10 laps to go, so let's see what happens. Enis Paratsky is caught up to Rail Patel. He's still trying to get past the Brit for P10, but he's unable to do it. As look at that, yeah, Alexander Arnold has really extended the gap now, 1.1 to Dennis Groff. So Groff's tires, I think, might really be falling off at this point. And that's going to allow Arnold to pull ahead, and that is going to be great for him, because I think that is probably going to be the 2nd win of his career, most likely. I don't want to jinx it here, so I'm not going to say anything. Thomas Mandis though, there's Enis Paratsky, look at that, he's all over the back of Rail Patel. Into La Source then. Let's see if Enis Paratsky is actually able to do it into the into Lake Coombe, as we get a very, very nice overhead view as the drivers go up. Rouge and Radion Sparks flying as they head through that corner. Let's see if Paratsky is close enough to try the move this time into turn 7 Lake Coombe. As no, he isn't actually. So I think Paratsky is better through the high. I think that McLaren is more suited for the high-speed corners than the tricky, twisty chicanes of Sector 1. And I think that is probably the primary sector where Paratsky gains time on Rail Patel. Dennis Groff, though, as always, is caught up to Alexander Arnold, but yeah, he just kind of loses it in Sector 3 now. So Ferrari not looking very pacey anymore, as Jesper Johansson seems to be closing in on Dennis Groff now. Thomas Mandich though, look how close he is to Linus Timel. Obviously doesn't have the straight line advantage. Both McLaren and Renault run Renault engines, so Mandich is only going to have to rely on making the move here. And he is actually on the outside, but Timel blocks. So Timel defending stoically, as he does always. Mandich and Timel, obviously, as previously mentioned, championship rivals in Formula 2. They had a pretty big championship battle in F2 going down to the last race in Abu Dhabi. Now they meet again in Formula 1. As they head on to the Kemmel Straight, let's see if Thomas Mandich is close enough to make the move on Timel. as I think he is gaining a bit, but I don't think he's close enough to try the move. No, he isn't. So that's Mandich remaining in P13 then. As we see a bit of a leading pack form, Arnold, Groff, and Johansson have all pulled ahead, with the Red Bulls and FG in P4, P5, and P6. So they're going to remain there. Alfred Klaus, though, pressuring his rookie teammate Ida Weitz, but Weitz is having none of it. He's staying in P4 at the moment, though he's not able to catch up to Jesper Johansson. A P4 is still going to be pretty good for Weitz in his first ever debut in Formula 1, as Jesper Johansson looking very, very close to Alexander Arnold. So maybe it could be Jesper Johansson's turn to try and challenge for the lead. Who knows? He actually skips over the curb there a bit. So I think he made a tiny bit of an error there. Thomas Mandis, though, let's see if he's close enough to lead the spell this time. No, he isn't. So Mandis not able to try that time. Thomas Mandich remaining in P13 then. Still eager to try and get past the McLaren of Linus Temel. Let's see the progress made by everyone from the start. So Dennis Groff up one position then. Ida Weitz as well overtook his teammate there. FG's up 2. He overtook Kulasek and Albom, who DNF'd on the start. But I should note that Miran FG does have a 10-second time penalty that was from the last race, so FG is gonna fall down quite a lot. And actually, now that you say it, Alexander Arnold has a 5-second time penalty. I completely forgot about that. Alexander Arnold has a 5-second time penalty from the last race where he collided with Mohamed Patel. So, if Arnold is not able to get past, is not able to clear Dennis Groff in time, that is going to allow Dennis Groff to take the victory here in Belgium. So that could be race deciding actually. But Jesper Johansson, look at that. He's doing his part at least in trying to secure the Mercedes victory. He's pushing Dennis Groff, trying to overtake him. And let's see the gaps then. If we could see the gap to the leader actually, could we get that? Gaps, I think it is. Yes, it is. Okay, so yeah, realistically then, that would mean that at this moment, Arnold would go down to P6, and FG would go down to P8, I believe. So Arnold is gonna have to absolutely push now, and that means that if we finish like this with these relative times, Ida Weitz is gonna be on the podium in his first ever Formula 1 race. So that could definitely be something interesting for the Swedish driver. Jesper Johansson, though, he is trying to catch up to Dennis Groff. He wants his victory. Look at that. On the outside, absolutely pushing the limit of the Mercedes. So if Johansson overtakes Groff, this is for the theoretical lead at the moment, because Arnold is going to have to extend that gap to 5 seconds if he wants a chance, but the field is looking so close at the moment. Jesper Johansson absolutely pushing it for a second win this season. As they head into the bus stop chicane, Groff blocks, heading into Blanchimont. Now into the bus stop chicane though. Is Johansson gonna try it into the bus stop? No, he doesn't. So I think Johansson's got a good chance to delay Coombe, but that Ferrari engine is really powerful. So can the Mercedes keep up with the Ferrari on the straights? We are gonna see that, as here's Thomas Mandich meanwhile further down the field, trying to get Linus Timel, but he is unable to. Malic, obviously 3-time winner in Formula 2, record breaker for the most amount of wins in F2. He's the only driver at the time who was able to get 2 wins in a row. Obviously, that isn't the case anymore. That record was broken this seasion. Kai Cherezny obviously took 2 wins in a row in F2, and now he sits here in F1. But we're gonna have to observe the gap to the leaders, though. This is gonna be the interesting part of where everyone is at the moment. Jesper Johansson still trying to get Dennis Graf. He's absolutely pushing to get past the German. Is he gonna try it into Krupor Frere though? No, it wasn't. Or no, that's not Krupor Frere, that is Campus. My apologies. They are heading into Stavelo now, and now it's Krupor Frere. So, yeah, I was a bit mistaken about that. But Jesper Johansson, look how incredibly close he is to Dennis Graf as they head through Blanchimont now. Very, very nice camera angle there, really showing the speed of the F1 cars. Johansson not trying it into the bus stop. Johansson really is being patient here at the moment. He's got Ide Weitz behind him though, so I don't think Johansson has to worry a lot. But you saw the move Weitz did on Johansson. Oh, no, sorry, you saw the move Weitz did on Klaus. He could do that on Jesper Johansson if Johansson gets stuck behind Dennis Graf. But this is good for Alexander Arnold at least, because that is going to see him, because that is going to increase his gap. At least won't go down too many positions. Either way, it's still going to be a shame for him, considering that he'd have lost out on the lead. And I think he is pretty frustrated with that, or he will be pretty frustrated with that. Jesper Johansson, though, trying to get his 2nd win of the season. The Super Swede, as he was nicknamed. Obviously was in the early championship fight back in 2017 with Miran Evji. Picked up some pretty decent wins and had a pretty big championship advantage. Oh, as he goes on the curb there. But yeah, Johansson, pretty big championship advantage he had. And then he had a bit of a... then he had some blunders. He crashed with his teammate, and then he had a string of really poor performances. And he can really recover from that. Obviously, he still was leading the championship this season. I think he was leading the championship at the French round of the championship. Yes, it was. He was leading the championship in France. That was when he took his first victory of the season. And then in Britain, he DNF'd, which handed the championship lead to Dennis Graf. Currently, Johansson sits... I believe he is 4th in the championship standings. No, he's 2nd, actually. So, yeah, Johansson is 2nd, but it is still a pretty big gap to Dennis Graf up ahead in the championship standings. Dennis Graf on 134 points, and Jesper Johansson on 118 points. So, Johansson is going to have to hope for Graf to have a DNF or something, so that he can catch up the deficit that is between those two. Johansson, though, still absolutely pushing it. The question is he gonna wear his tires out at this pace? I think he might, actually, as Alexander Arnold's built up the gap to 2 seconds now. So it's getting better for Alexander Arnold. He might still be in shot for a podium here, though I don't think he's gonna be able to get it with 3 laps remaining, as Johansson's still trying, the outside into that corner. as they head through Stavilo and Courbevoie. You see how close he is. I think if we could go on the onboard, you could see how fast he was going. But that Ferrari is a lot more powerful down the straight. So Johansson does have a pretty major disadvantage with that. As they head into La Source now, lap 20 of 22. Alexander Arnold not looking very likely to take the win. There's Thomas Mandic. He's actually tried on the outside Linus Timel, but Timel blocking again. There's Kai Teresny as well. Well, was trying on Lewis McIntyre, but McIntyre not ceding the position. Jesper Johansson though down the straight. Not able to close in on Dennis Graf. That engine is stupidly fast down the straight, so Johansson most likely gonna get P3 or P2. It's gonna be after the penalties, as we have a spam bot in chat. I don't know why they keep appearing, but please, I urge you to not click on those stupid links. I don't think anyone's stupid enough to click on those. As Johansson, just 3/10 separate him and Dennis Graf. He's been all over the back of the Ferrari as he's trying to hunt for the win, trying on the same corner. That's not going to work, Jesper, as Ida Veit is actually closing in on Jesper Johansson. So it's going to be it might be Veit versus Johansson in the last 2 laps, actually, because Johansson is not looking to be able to clear Dennis Graf, because I mean, he can't do anything on the straight. But if these 4 duel with each other, that is going to be very good for Alexander Arnold. If you could switch to the gaps screen, actually, I think we should keep this for the last few laps, just to see. So at the moment, Alexander Arnold will be P6, and Miran Evji will be P7. And that means that Dennis Graf will have the victory here at Spa. That is unless, obviously, Jesper Johansson is able to overtake. But I think Kai Teresny has got the move done on Lewis McIntyre for P16, and he has. So that sees the Polish driver up into P16. As McIntyre is actually going to try again into La Source. Opportunistic move from the Brit. We haven't seen him trying many moves this season, but not really able to hang on though. Either way, he still tried it, so I guess hats off him for that, for at least trying. Where's Jesper Johansson though? There he is, heading through Brussels. Lap 21 of 22, it's the second to last lap of the Belgian Grand Prix. Keep an eye on those timing sheets, people, because we are gonna see where everyone finishes. As Jesper Johansson is still trying to attempt it on the outside. That's not gonna work, buddy. As Ida Veit has got his teammate Alfred Klaus behind him. Will Klaus let his teammate have the podium, or let his rookie teammate have the podium, or will Klaus take the spoils for himself? It's a difficult decision, but we will eventually see what decides to happen as they head through the final few corners. Blanchimont now. As Ida Veit is actually catching up to Jesper Johansson. He's going to try it on the outside. He actually had a bit of a look there on Jesper Johansson. So, yeah, still pretty impressive from Ida Veit. As we are now approaching the final lap of this Belgian Grand Prix. Alexander Arnold's led every lap, but with how things are looking right now, he's going to finish P6. So, that means that Dennis Graf will take the victory, as there's a crash at the back. That's Milka Singh, and Singh has made contact with someone, and that takes Milka Singh out of the race on the final lap of the race. Oh dear, as there's Jesper Johansson. Johansson's trying on Dennis Graf. This is for the lead. on the inside heading into Lake Coombe. I don't think Johansson's going to be able to try it, as he's actually been able to hang on the inside. Johansson takes the lead of the Belgian Grand Prix in the final lap of the Belgian Grand Prix. That sees Jesper Johansson, the super Swede, into the race lead. That is absolutely incredible stuff we're seeing on the last lap. And I think that's going to be the win for Jesper Johansson. I don't think Dennis Groff's going to be able to hang on, as he's now got Ida Weitz behind him. But I think Weitz is going to be able, I don't think Weitz is going to be able to overtake Dennis Groff, though, as we're going to see anyways. But the win is now looking in favor of Jesper Johansson. I don't think anyone would probably have expected him to win with how things was looking after lap 1, as Ida Weitz actually having a bit of a look on Dennis Groff. Might Weitz be able to get Groff here? As it's looking, Klaus actually has a bit of a look on Ida Weitz. This is going to be so close for the win. I can't believe it. There's Miran Evans in the back. He's trying it on Alfred Klaus. What a hectic last lap, as if he's going to swing around the outside into Blanchimont. He's going to be able to make it, though, as they head side by side. This is for P5 on the line. Let's see who's going to get it. Alexander Arnold, though, is going to cross the line. FG can't do it. Alexander Arnold's going to cross the line P1, but he's going to head P6, and that means that Jesper Johansson wins the Belgian Grand Prix. Dennis Groff is second, and Ida Weitz take a bow P3 on his Formula 1 debut. That is absolutely incredible. Alfred Klaus P4 was just able to hold on. Miran FG is P7, I believe, as Wojtek Kulasek is going to be P6. And wow, what an incredible last lap. That was amazing. And that is Jesper Johansson who wins the Belgian Grand Prix. So let's see the final classifications then of the Belgian GP. Jesper Johansson, second victory for the Swede at Belgium, with Dennis Groff in second place, and Ida Weitz finishing third on his Formula 1 debut. That's absolutely incredible stuff. I would be surprised if he doesn't have an F1 seat for next year, because he has really proved himself now, I must say. With Alfred Klaus P4, Miran FG will be... I think Miran FG actually will stay P6. So FG does not go down any position. So he stays P6 or P... I think... Yeah, he stays P... I think he goes P7 actually. Because Arnold gets demoted to... Wait, no, now I have to think here. So it's going to be Johansson, Groff, Weitz, Klaus, Arnold. So Arnold's P5. Yeah, Klaus P4, Arnold P5. FG 6th. So FG stays where he is. Arnold goes down 5 places. Kulasek P7 with Ruslan Posik P8. Rail Patel scoring nice points for Toro Rosso as well. P9, and Dennis Pratsky P10. Dennis Groff also got the fastest lap there. Linus Timelis P11 after he fended off Tomas Mandic the entire race. Mandic is P12 with Franco Gamba P13. Balint Jolga is 14th with Kai Cherezhnia 15th. Lewis McIntyre is P16 with Josef Rixuta P17. And Laban Zatnishke P18. And the two non-finishers are Milka Singh and Victor Albom. So that is it for the Belgian Grand Prix. Thank you so much for watching. Congratulations to Jesper Johansson on the second victory this season, and congratulations to Ida Weitz on the podium in his first ever Formula 1 race. That's absolutely spectacular stuff. And yes, thank you so much for watching. We will see you tomorrow for the DTM race at the Sachsenring.